Have you ever walked into a room and suddenly become aware of yourself? Not just aware that you're there, aware of how you're standing, how you're speaking, how your face looks, how your voice sounds. It's subtle, but it's immediate. A small shift inside, almost like a quiet spotlight just turned on. You're no longer just existing in the moment, you're monitoring yourself inside it. You notice your posture, you notice your tone, you notice whether what you say might sound strange. And sometimes it goes even further. You start imagining what other people might be thinking. Did that sound awkward? Did that seem confident enough? Did they notice that pause? It happens quickly, so quickly most people never question it. They simply assume the same thing, that everyone around them is quietly evaluating them, watching, judging, measuring. But what if something else is actually happening? What if that sense of being evaluated isn't coming from the outside at all? What if it's being generated inside your own mind? Because once you see where this pattern really comes from, something begins to change. You're about to understand why some people constantly feel observed, even when no one is paying attention, and why the mind creates that feeling so convincingly. The strange part is that the experience feels social, but the process is internal. It often starts in small, everyday moments: walking past a group of people, entering a meeting, posting something online, speaking in front of others, even sitting quietly in a room. Nothing dramatic is happening. No one is openly judging you. Yet your mind quietly begins running a commentary. Should I say something? Did that sound normal? Am I acting strange right now? Your attention slowly shifts away from the moment itself and toward how you appear inside it. You begin observing yourself from the outside, almost like you're watching your own behavior through someone else's eyes. This is where the feeling begins. Not with actual judgment, but with the simulation of it. Your mind starts predicting how others might see you, how they might interpret what you say, how they might evaluate what you do. It builds small scenarios, tiny imagined reactions, possible interpretations. And the more attention you give those predictions, the more real they start to feel. Eventually, something subtle happens. You stop experiencing the moment directly and start monitoring your role inside it. Every movement becomes slightly measured, every sentence slightly adjusted, every reaction slightly filtered. From the outside, nothing seems unusual, but internally, there is constant observation, a quiet sense of being watched, a constant sense of needing to appear a certain way. The strange thing is that this pattern can exist even when people are alone, walking down the street, sitting at home, thinking about something they posted earlier, even remembering a conversation that already ended. The mind still simulates the audience. It still imagines how others might see them. It still predicts judgment. And slowly, over time, this internal monitoring becomes normal. So normal that people assume it must come from the outside world. They believe others are always evaluating them. But most of the time, the evaluation is happening somewhere else entirely, inside the mind itself. To understand why this happens, we have to look at how the mind develops this ability in the first place. It doesn't start this way. When you were very young, experience was simple. You responded to what was happening around you. You saw things, you heard things, you reacted. There was awareness, but there wasn't constant internal commentary about how you appeared. Life was direct. Moments happened and you experienced them. Then language developed, and something new appeared. The mind learned to describe, to interpret, to explain. An internal narrator slowly formed. At first, it was useful. It helped you remember instructions. It helped you learn social rules. It helped you anticipate consequences. The mind began asking small questions. What should I do here? What happens if I say this? What do people expect in this situation? Gradually, the narrator started simulating other perspectives. What might they think? How will they react? What would they say about this? This ability actually helped people adapt socially. It allowed the mind to anticipate reactions before they happened. But over time, something shifted. The narrator that was meant to be a tool slowly became constant. Instead of appearing occasionally when needed, it began running continuously. The mind started analyzing every interaction, predicting every interpretation, imagining every evaluation. The simulation never stopped. And because the simulation involves other people's imagined opinions, it feels social. It feels external. But it's actually generated by the mind itself. This pattern becomes even stronger when the mind believes constant monitoring prevents mistakes. If you analyze everything carefully enough, if you predict every reaction, if you anticipate every judgment, then maybe nothing embarrassing will happen. Maybe nothing uncomfortable will happen. So the narrator keeps running, quietly evaluating every situation, quietly imagining what others might think, quietly watching your own behavior from the outside. But here is the important part. That narrator isn't you. It's something the mind is producing. Just like your mind can imagine a memory, just like it can imagine a future scenario, it can also imagine other people watching you. And when that simulation runs constantly, it creates the feeling that you are always being evaluated. This is something I explore more deeply in Learning to Feel Safe, especially how this pattern forms and why it feels automatic. Because once you understand this pattern, something important becomes visible. The mind may simulate observers, but you are the one observing the simulation. The narrator predicts judgment, but you are the one hearing the prediction. The commentary describes how you appear, but you are the one noticing the commentary. The guard reacts to imagined evaluation, but something in you is aware of that reaction. This distinction is small, but it changes everything. The narrator says people might judge you, but you are the one hearing that sentence. The mind imagines observers, but you are the one noticing the imagination. The voice predicts reactions, but you are the one aware that the prediction appeared. This means the narrator is not your identity. It is an activity happening inside awareness, and the moment this becomes clear, the pattern begins to loosen. Because the feeling of being evaluated depends on believing the simulation. Once you see the narrator generating those simulations, the illusion weakens. You start noticing something interesting. The voice predicting judgment is loud, but you are the one hearing it. The guard reacts quickly, but you are the one noticing the reaction. The narrator describes how you appear, but you are the one aware that the description is happening. That awareness was always there, it just wasn't recognized. If this perspective is helping you see your mind differently, keep watching, because when this recognition deepens, the experience of everyday situations begins to change. You still enter rooms, you still talk to people, you still move through the same environments, but something shifts internally. You begin noticing when the narrator starts simulating observers. You hear it predicting evaluation. You notice it imagining reactions. Instead of being pulled into those predictions, you see them forming. The narrator speaks, but you recognize the voice. The mind simulates judgment, but you notice the simulation. The commentary describes your behavior, but you are aware of the commentary. This recognition creates space. The narrator can still run, the mind can still imagine perspectives, but they no longer define the moment, because the moment is still happening. People are still talking, the room is still quiet, your body is still breathing. Life continues directly. The narrator becomes something in the background, sometimes useful, often unnecessary, but no longer mistaken for you. This changes how attention works. Instead of being absorbed in imagined evaluations, attention returns to what is actually happening. The sound of voices, the movement of conversation, the physical sensation of standing in a room, the moment itself. And interestingly, when attention returns to the present moment, the narrator often slows down. Not because you forced it to stop, but because it no longer has your full attention. The simulation loses energy. The predictions become quieter. The imagined observers fade. The room becomes just a room again. The people become just people. And you are simply present inside the moment, not performing for imagined watchers, not adjusting behavior for predicted judgments, just experiencing what is actually happening. The narrator may still appear occasionally. It may still predict reactions. It may still simulate opinions. But now you recognize the pattern. The voice is content. You are the one aware of it. The commentary is activity. You are the space where it appears. The guard reacts, but you are the one noticing the reaction. That awareness was never judging you. It was only observing. And when you begin resting in that awareness, the constant sense of being evaluated begins to fade. Because the mind was watching itself the whole time, and you were simply the one noticing the watching. If you want to go deeper into this pattern, I've written more about it in Learning to Feel Safe. If this shifted something in how you see your mind, subscribe for more explorations like this. And let me know in the comments when you notice this pattern the most. The more you know about you, the more you understand and the better you become.